Thank you so much for joining on this video where we are going to honor the remarkable legacy and life of Rosalie Whyel. This is an important video for me to do. One of the biggest reasons is because my friend Shelly, who is Rosalie's daughter, has a story a lot like mine. We both lived and worked with our mothers for decades, doing wonderful doll adventures for so many years of our lives, and we both lost our moms way too soon and too fast. And for me to be able to even speak about her and to talk about her and to introduce you to her, maybe if you haven't met her or heard of her, is such an honor. And she was such an important person, and she left such a beautiful, lasting impact on the doll collecting community. Our lives are better because of Rosalie Whyel and everything that she showed us and exposed us to as doll collectors, and just showing us the beauty in this world. She was brilliant. And it is such an honor to be able to do a tribute to her, and I'm just so sorry that she passed away. One of the things that is so important to me is to honor legacies and to celebrate the lives of beautiful people that did so much. I think it's important to celebrate and to talk about things, and we have lost somebody so special in Rosalie, and she did a lot of things. And so I want to chat about her, and I want to show you a couple of the books that we have here at the shop that she has written. And then we're gonna look at some footage that is very dear to me, some older footage that I am so glad that we were able to take at the time. And we're gonna look at some wonderful dolls in a special exhibit that Rosalie and Shelly did at UFDC many years ago. Today, we gather to honor the remarkable individual, Rosalie Whyel, whose passion and dedication have left an indelible mark on the doll collecting community. Rosalie's journey with dolls was not merely a hobby. It was a heartfelt pursuit of beauty and history. Rosalie's love for dolls transcended the ordinary. She saw each doll as a unique story, a sentiment echoed in her favorite phrase, "The one I am holding," when anyone asked her what her favorite doll is. Her legacy includes not only her impressive collection and the Rosalie Whyel Museum of Doll Art, but her contributions to doll education. To share her extensive knowledge in antique dolls, Rosie authored 3 books: the Rosalie Whyel Museum of Doll Art Souvenir Book, The Rose Unfolds, and The Heart of the Tree. She and museum co-director and daughter, Shelly, were active members of many local and national doll clubs, of which they were active participants, dealers, and presenters at monthly meetings and annual conventions. At the museum, the two kept very busy with an ongoing schedule of changing exhibits, deepening knowledge and teaching doll history, and Rosalie's favorite part, playing with dolls. Rosalie was so many things, but she was an author, and she wrote some beautiful books. And I pulled a couple of the books out from our book storage here at the doll shop of our favorite books. And we have 2 of Rosie's books. Her friends called her Rosie. She went by Rosie, which is just so sweet. And I want to show you 2 of them. One I'm going to show you that it just shows you a lot of the personality that Rosalie Whyel had. And first of all, The Heart of the Tree. This is such a beautiful book. She really, really loved wooden dolls, and this is an amazing book if you can find it. But one that just really made me laugh in the best way was Rosalie's The Rose Unfolds book. When you pull it out, there's the book right here, but then this came out, and I was like, thinking, what is this? And it says on the side that it's Dolly's edition, and inside of it is a little book for your doll. This is so Rosalie, and this is so sweet. And this had to have added so much expense to the printing process, and she did it because it was fun and because doll collectors would like it. I just think it tells so much of her story, just that little piece right there. Going to doll conventions and being around Rosalie and my mom, they were a lot alike. They were hardworking women. They loved dolls. They were strong spirits. They would get an idea and they would do what they wanted to do. I remember one of the things that was so important to Rosalie was her family and her daughter. And she has many children, which I just find so incredible because she did all these incredible things in her life, from traveling to her museum to going to doll shows, while being a mom and having children and grandchildren. She loved being a grandma. And one of the things that I remember at a lot of the UFDC events is that she would have her grandchildren with her. Shelley's children would be there. She had many grandchildren that she absolutely adored and loved being a grandma. I think being a grandma was actually Rosalie's favorite job that she ever had in her life. She had many, many jobs, and being a mom. But that one speaks so much to me, to be a mom and to do dolls and to run a museum and do everything that she did. It's a lot of work, and she did it with such pride and such grace and just such dignity in everything that she did. She was so willing to share. And so, speaking of sharing, one of my favorite videos that I ever did, and this was filmed back before I knew all that I know now about microphones and lighting and HD footage and editing. This was filmed live, and sometimes I kick myself that I didn't know all of those things, but I didn't. But the beautiful thing was that I was out there getting the content, and both her daughter Shelley and I are so grateful that we have this content. We have the video that I took when we were at UFDC, and we saw this beautiful collection, this special exhibit that Rosalie and Shelley put on that was German character dolls. I absolutely adore German character dolls, and this special exhibit was one of the most beautiful exhibits that I have ever seen that was comprised of all German character dolls. They're so rare, they're so valuable, they're so wonderful. I love them so much. In fact, I appreciate them probably as far as character dolls more than any other doll. German character dolls are just so rare and wonderful. And Rosalie's collection was amazing. And so in this video, you're going to see footage from Shelley and Rosalie that we filmed. And we're going to show you the highlights and all of the best parts of the video, and as much as we can share with this footage. And I am so grateful that you get to hear her voice. You get to see her face. You can see how much she loved dolls, and just what a gentle, kind person she was. She was just approachable, and you could talk to her. You'd never know that she had one of the most incredible collections in the entire world. When you met her, she was just a person that could sit next to you and talk about anything. So I hope you enjoy this footage, taking a little step back to 2018 at UFDC. Hello everyone in the Dolly Cam. I am Rachel, and we are here with such a special opportunity for you tonight. So we already saw a little bit of the Simon and Halbig special exhibit that's going on here at UFDC. But tonight, Shelley and Rosalie Whyel have taken time out of their day to give us a special curated one-on-one in their special exhibits. So we are going to be chatting with them and getting up close and personal with their incredible dolls that they brought to UFDC for all of us. So I'm gonna get behind the camera, and we're gonna go in and meet these ladies and see their dolls. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Rachel.
Thank you for joining us live in the Dolly Cam.
Oh, our pleasure.
Rosalie and Shelley, a wonderful mother and daughter team. We all just love you so very much, and thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about, I was speaking with Shelley earlier, what you guys have been doing to get ready and to prepare for this incredible special exhibit.
Well, it's been a lot of work, but it's been, of course, the joy of my life to do this type of thing, to present the dolls the way we feel they should be presented, as a study group and as a playful, childlike intention, I think, that Simon and Halbig did when they made these dolls.
I thought, after seeing how many wonderful Simon and Halbigs we had, I thought there's not been a lot of Simon and Halbig exhibits, so we should do that.
So you guys came up with the idea to have this special
Shelley
exhibit.
did, yes.
Oh, well, Shelley,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I'm sure you didn't quite know what you were getting into, but then
Get your mother
it
into
kind of starts, and then it goes, and then it goes, and then it
Yes.
goes. But your mission, the two of you with the museum, was to unite and to connect people with dolls. And so you are carrying on that legacy by bringing this special exhibit. I know it took 17 hours to set this all up.
Was that all?
Or
more.
And a year of planning, yes.
So thank you again. We are right here behind us. We see Uncle Sam, and he is kind
Oh,
of
yes.
at the helm of the ship, welcoming us in.
Yes.
Tell us about him. He is so big.
He is big. He is not only big, but the modeling on this doll is just spectacular. And of course, that's what Simon & Halbig is known for, is their beautiful bisque, their exceptional modeling. And I was discussing with someone today how I think they didn't wear out their molds. And that's why some of the dolls that are the same number look different, because I think they kept renewing the molds so that every doll looked like it was first out of the mold. And of course, they made heads for many, many other companies, not just in Germany, but in France. And they were dispersed around the world. Some were made only for certain countries, some only for certain companies. And a lot of researchers that have done recent work and discovered these interesting points about the company, I think has brought that to light for us. So some of these say attributed to Simon Halbig, because that's what we've come to believe. Others, of course, are marked, and they will say that on their labels, that they are marked Cameron Reinhardt, Simon & Halbig.
And a lot of these dolls retain their original clothing and provenance, which is so hard to find.
That's what we like. It is the original clothing, hairstyles, all of that. But of course, what I talk about here are not just the children who played with them and preserved them and kept their stories, but the families who did that and entrusted these dolls with amazing artifacts from the families, their photographs, their certificates of graduation, albums, and belongings that they passed down with the dolls. So you knew how important the dolls were to these families.
Yes. A lot of them did have the markings, but how do you find out which company they were making them for?
Well, most of the time, the company's name is marked on the doll, but not always Simon Halbig. Sometimes just Halbig, sometimes S&H, but often through the research of people like Mary Krombolz, the Sieslicks in Germany, and of course Jan Folk, who did what I call the Bible of Simon & Halbig. They have discovered that these dolls were made, the heads were made, not the dolls, but the heads were made for these companies. The only dolls that Simon & Halbig did completely themselves were the all bisques.
Oh, really?
Right.
Oh, that is so interesting.
And so look at the diversity, and as you move through here, you'll see how many different kinds. These are the very early ones, the untinted bisques, and they have a definite look. And they were play dolls, but very fragile, and yet here they are today. Very progressive. This one here, you can see, she has a twist and turn body. Look at her body down here.
She's the original twist and turn girl. Look at that. Move over, Francie. Yes. Oh, wow. Look at that.
So very progressive.
How cool.
And then this is how adults played with the dolls. Here's Miss 1934, wonderful 1159, almost always made for Jamal French firm. And here is what one group of women did. Look at these clothes that they created for Miss 1934. And beautifully knit crochet lingerie made by an actual lingerie couturier, and furniture made by the husband and a box to carry them in. I mean, this is adults playing dolls, big time.
And it's so much fun.
So much fun.
Back here on our 1078, this shows how doll playing never stops. Obviously, a doll from the 20s, but Ellen had her mother gift it to her in the 1940s when she was little, and she remade the wardrobe for her and the wig and everything in a 1940s style.
Wow. You guys just included so much of everything. I had people come up to me at this convention saying this is the best thing they've ever seen.
Let's start with the Little Historic Series, which so many people are very surprised to see because they say, I've never seen these dolls in these original costumes. And I believe this is their historical series from 1890. But look how cute.
They are wonderful.
And to the right, here's a 1385. I had never seen that number before, let alone that doll. It isn't listed in anything that I saw in my research, but there she is, marked Simon and Halbig, 1385. Darling little character.
And she's just so small. Oh, she's wonderful.
Here's some history that I just love. This is the childhood doll of Virginia Bullman Cartwright, who lived from 1865 to 1954 in Washington State, where we're from. And this little wardrobe was probably made by Virginia for this fabulous little doll. And 1870 is the wardrobe time period. And here, you know, she played with it, but here it is today for us to enjoy, thanks to
it's so wonderful.
The child
and you're just
the
keeping her
adult.
legacy and their legacy and what was important alive, because it is important.
When I bought her, I thought this had to have been a portrait of somebody. This isn't just a doll that they create that face for no reason. It's a sculpture of somebody. And then I acquired this beautiful Queen Alexandra. I did the research and discovered the year this doll was made in 1908. King Edward and Queen Alexandra visited Germany. And I believe that this was in commemoration of that. So I wrote an article about it. And the fun part of that was I got letters back from people like Mary Hillier in England and other people who had the 152 saying, oh my gosh, we so agree with you that is who this doll is. So
isn't that great?
Fun to be affirmed, yes. Yeah. And just as an aside, to show you how our dolls lead us through history, there's an original invitation from King Edward of England to Mrs. Jane Eames to the coronation dinner on July 5th, 1902. And there's
how
the queen.
Special. Oh, wow. Just breathtaking. Now, these Simon and Halbigs, I've never seen an 1159 this large, first of all.
Large,
and
yes.
then there's a man and a woman.
Man and a woman.
They're just wonderful.
And, of course, meant for the French trade in either exposition clothes for presentation at an exposition or as a commission. We're not sure. And there they are on the cover of Jan's book, yes.
Look at that.
And all together, all original from that time period, so around 1900.
What is one of the ways, and I know there are tons of ways, but what is one of the ways that your lives have been enhanced by being a part of Doll World?
Oh my goodness. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. I always say I hated history. It was my worst subject, but certainly these dolls have led me through history and the interest that they pique in humanity, and they represent everything about humanity I think that's ever happened and the people there. And it connects you to people from all these different time periods, not just the children, but their families, royalty, almost any event that took place. And it's very compelling to know that the saying is a child will lead you, you know, but I believe a doll can lead you too.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I've always loved history, and I just feel like, we're just caretakers for a moment because hopefully they'll live a lot longer than we will. And I always felt like I was born in the wrong time, and I feel like when I go through and see wardrobes of dolls and think about who owned them, that I feel like I'm living in a different time period and getting the best of the modern, but getting to go back in time.
Isn't it a wonderful way to time travel? Totally. We just love it. The 1200 series, again, and another iconic series. They made some large dolls in these 1200 series dolls.
Yes. I like to equate the dolls with at least the time period of the child and how they're dressed, and so that representation takes us back to an actual child wearing a similar outfit, and you can see the inspiration for the doll when you see that type of thing.
We have a 1248, and she is all original in a child flapper costume. She's just to die.
That is just to die for. Yes. And the hat. Yep. I just love it all.
I'd wear it today.
Now, these wonderful ethnic dolls were so interesting. I loved seeing this giant head for the 1329.
Probably the largest size of that head, but also probably meant as a as a plaything. And, maybe it was used to promote, but it's definitely could have been wigged, could have had a bun, and been dressed and been a plaything just as the others over there were. We love the originality of these.
And thinking about the time period and what you could have learned, seeing that 1329 all in her original Asian outfit and being like, wow. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, the people that also saw this probably had never been even exposed to that kind of
Exactly.
culture. And this one with her original headpiece and just the outfit.
Shoes.
Yeah, look at the shoes, everybody.
And just think of a child seeing that for the first time and thinking,
Where
are
did that
these
person
people?
come from?
And it opened up a conversation
Yes.
with their family who may not have known either, but maybe could have found out the chinoiserie,
as they call that, influence was very intense at that time.
Again, where you're looking at some of the other characters, these ethnic characters are just wonderful. Is this a XI? Or which
No,
mold
this
is
is
she?
1478.
Oh, she's just 1478.
1478. And I say in here, compare the 1478, the Mein Liebling 117, the 1, the 3, the 1448. They all have this look. She's wearing metal pieces in her headdress, and she's from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands attire,
And
look at that.
It told whether she was a Protestant or a Catholic, depending on how they're worn. So even her
Interesting.
clothing said a little bit about the people wearing them.
This has a wonderful provenance. It's just,
This.
it goes on. It's heavenly.
Matilda Maddie Baker's doll, but this is just a very small amount of the wealth of material that came with her. And it's family albums, beautiful photographs of family and friends and gifts to the family. Her shoes, Maddie's shoes, her life right through the triptych over there of her as a young woman, and her books that she read, her parents. There's her mother with the cow, her father in front of the store that has her mother's maiden name on it. So maybe that's how he met her. And then Maddie, handmade carved furniture for the doll. It's just, to me, that just makes my heart skip.
Doesn't it just make your heart skip? Because there's just so much love emanating from it.
Exactly. And even artifacts like the eyepiece. And in front of that, in case people don't know, it's a cigar cutter.
Cutter, oh yeah. This is the largest 939 I have ever seen in my
Isn't
life.
that amazing?
Yes.
And she's sitting down.
Yeah, she's sitting.
Oh, she is a big mama jama. Is that her original outfit?
As
It
far
looks-
as I
it
know,
looks
that's how
very
it came
original.
To me, yes. And of course, they're playing with a wonderful 1300 bubble blower.
One of my favorites.
That's why is that one of your favorites, Shelley?
yeah.
Gosh, the technology used to make this bubble blower, who actually
Blows
blows
bubbles.
bubbles, is amazing. So if you look at her, she's got her little dish. You can put soapy water in it. You can wind her up. Her arm goes down, and as her arm comes up, she has a mechanism inside that makes her literally blow air out of her mouth and in through the little pipe and bubbles.
It bubbles. Oh, how incredible! And this
still
can be
works.
seen in your documentary
That's
that you
right,
have
yes.
for the museum,
Yes,
and that
I
I
can
believe
read it.
is available on Amazon
Yep.
And here
and here at UMGC.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is definitely a documentary that everyone should purchase.
This is the handwork daisy, and Ladies' Home Journal, Letty Lane, the paper doll, was Daisy, and she was given as a prize to young girls who sold the magazine subscriptions.
Right.
But this one,
It was the original multi-level marketing.
exactly. This one has a wonderful little story because here is her owner, Toddy,
Oh, look
with
at it.
all of her 28 dolls, and the mother or whoever related that back.
She was a hard worker.
She said, pity the poor widdy with 28 children.
Oh, how funny.
And this is the book, For Love of Mary Ellen, that has the poor little girl with the similar saying on there. And of course, the artist illustrator for that is our dear Rose O'Neill. But here comes her letter that Daisy wrote to the owner. Very sweet, but still being very little girl.
Right.
And it's quite
Just
humorous.
darling.
Passed down with the doll all these years.
Now, this 900 series is a lot of fun. There are a lot of dolls in the 900 series that we just love. And here are some beautiful examples. Again, you guys have great examples of the large scale versions of these
Yeah.
dolls. Now, when we move over to this 1300 series, this is the
Here it comes.
yeah, this is where we start having heart palpitations
Yes.
for sure.
For one thing, of course, what stands out is the color. The all of a sudden, never in the early dolls until the 900 series do you see the color. And it ranges here from very black to the brown to Indian red, if you would, even a white-faced clown. I mean, it is so, to me, it's so universal. All of a sudden, they're doing these play dolls.
Yes.
And, but look at the vastness of the sculpting. They actually sculpted the dolls to look like
The ethnicity,
the
that they
ethnicity
are.
of the dolls.
Yes.
And the people. And here we have the Indian, the American Indian.
Yes, these
Same
American
number.
Indians are just,
1303, but look
I
at
have
the sculpts.
goosebumps
Look
looking
at
at
the
these.
different sculpts. Three
And the
different
one on the
sculpts.
right, he looks like he's gonna walk right over and say hi.
Yes.
It looks so realistic.
So realistic.
And then the little one, a different sculpt again.
How or
And
why
there's the boy.
was Simon and Helbig so progressive at the time?
You know,
Did
when
they-
these were made, they were just, Simon had already passed away in 1894. Halbig and his son, Aaron, were running the company. And then by 1920, according to Mary Krombolz's research, the company was owned by Cameron Reinhardt. So they had turned it over, sold it to them, and
perhaps
but
their
I
influence?
believe they started, yeah, I think it was the character reform of 1908 that really started the dolls to look more and more like real children, and then real adults, and then real ethnicity. So sadly, of course, the wars, World War I, World War II, they could not survive. There were embargoes against German goods, and it was the demise of the company by 1932.
Well, their legacy certainly lives on. We're looking at in the back these two playful characters. These are a 1307 and a 1305. And that is obviously his original Police Chanel.
It is.
It
yes.
has to be.
Yes. Many of these are in original costume. Here is a Coke maker from 1912.
Oh, he's fabulous. Did you purchase any dolls special for this exhibit, or were these all
I
that
did
you
not.
just had?
I did
Okay.
not.
I bet it might have been
And
a
we
little
left some at
tempting.
home, of course, because they couldn't all make it. There's the 3, and there's the 1.
Oh, look
and
at
you
that.
can definitely see
That
the
is
family
such-
resemblance.
Yes.
This 3 is also very, very rare, and it's not to be confused with the handwork 3, Roman numeral 111. This is
And then it does get
Simon and
confused.
Helbig 111.
Now this bridal series over here, the mother of the bride, she is just to die for.
she wonderful?
She is wonderful. Was she always the mother of the bride?
No,
No.
this is what
Just
we
having
call
fun.
her because we play dolls too.
I love it.
And the priest was not always a priest, but our dear friend and Seattle Doll Club member, Joyce Coughlin, dressed him as a priest. And so I thought, well, he belongs in this wedding scene.
Oh man.
Then we have some
Flower girls.
flower girl over here in the 1920s, the 890 with her little wardrobe. She's literally a flower girl. And a couple of brides. A 1079 and a right there. And
And the little Tom Thumb,
Tom
and
Thumb.
so cute.
This is, once again, the 1159 made for Jumeau or SFBJ, the French trade. And here is her box. Shelley could read that in French, but it basically is the department store of J.B. Florence and Sons, and it says a sweet marriage basket. And this was usually, in France, this was given to the bride from her groom as a gift upon marrying.
Well, we need to restart that tradition. I like that a lot.
Sounds good.
I like that a lot. Now, this whimsical character we have just been loving. She is so happy and chubby and lifelike, and she has those teeth up there.
Well, as far as I know, she's the only one of this mold. Perhaps this going out can have others emerge. She's
I've never seen one.
Simon and Helbig 6 for Heinrich Handwerk, and we think she's around 1910. But in all my years of collecting, this is the only one I've seen.
I have never seen one. As soon as I saw her, I wanted to immediately know all about her. She is wonderful.
Definitely makes your day.
And then this cute little hospital of East India. Did you purchase all of this at one time?
All together. And I included this because even though they aren't marked, very obvious faces come out of here that scream Simon and Helbig, and the other makers I'm sure too. But it was really just a really good excuse to show them as well.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. I am putting in a special request for a Kewpie special exhibit someday.
Oh, we can do that.
Just
You won't have to twist very hard.
Well, what can our viewers look forward to from the two of you in the coming years? I know you've been once you get over this, but now it's out there in the world. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this video and to share it with everybody.
Thank you so much. We're just thrilled to be on Ruby Lane.
You guys are
Encourage people
wonderful.
to share.
Share the
Weird
video.
things.
That's the best thing that you can do is share the video and just
And their dolls. Yeah.
and don't be
It's
afraid to
joy.
talk about it and to show them and to get them out, right?
Right.
right.
Yeah, and enjoy them.
Yeah. That's what you do.
That's what we do.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks.
Rachel.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed seeing some of that footage. I am grateful that I went out and got some of the footage with some of the amazing people of our doll world and our doll history and our doll life that are no longer with us. And to see her and to experience a piece of that, I will always be forever grateful for. I'm also grateful to Shelley, who has sent me some wonderful photos and agreed to this video. It's been an important one that I've wanted to do, and I'm just so thankful to be sharing it with you today. So in closing, we're going to reflect more on Rosalie and her life and her beautiful, vibrant life that was just full of all of her passions. From her acclaimed doll museum to the memorable doll trips to Europe, she brought people together, sharing her enthusiasm and knowledge. Beyond her doll collection, Rosalie's zest for life shone in her hobbies, her love for her family, and her joy in the simple pleasures of life. Her kitchen was a haven of warmth, her garden a place of peace, and her home a sanctuary of love and laughter. As we celebrate a life richly lived and generously shared, it is an honor to speak about such a remarkable individual. Her legacy is not just in the dolls she cherished, but in the lives she touched, the knowledge she imparted, and the joy she spread. Rosalie Whyel, an icon in our community, a beacon of creativity and love, will forever inspire us to see the world with wonder and appreciation. Thank you so much for everything, Rosalie. And thank you for watching.